Suprabhatam, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. There is something happening in Bharat. Oh, they have already shown the screen. So I thought I would give us a few leading questions and then the slides will be shown. Okay, there is something still happening in Bharat which happens once in 144 years. What is that? Okay, there is something which is happening in Bharat. So for the entire duration of which 40 crore people will assemble. What is that? Please repeat, nothing wrong in that. There is something which is happening in Bharat which is recorded in the UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage. What is that? Where is it happening? Okay, I prepared a lot of things, you know already many things. Okay, I just saw a social media post. Normal people, they celebrate the movement of earth around the sun one time. That is the completion of 1 year. But great people will celebrate the movement of Jupiter or Brihaspati around the sun for one time. How many years it will take? 12 years. So the completion of one movement of Brihaspati or Jupiter around the sun in our, and you know Jupiter or Brihaspati is the biggest planet in our solar system, and in the Vedic tradition Brihaspati is the Adhi Devata. Vachi Buddhau Brihaspatihi. That's how Sayanacharya says. Brihaspati is the divinity who governs our speech and intellect. Speech and intellect are very much connected. Whatever we think, we will speak. So hence there is we articulate our mind through speech. So both are very much connected, and Brihaspati is the Devata. And we can see that every 12 years in our life also, there is a transformation in our speech and intellect. So 12 years we are children, 24 years we are entering into the world, and then 36 years we are already into our professions and have gained some life experience. 48 years we climb the peak of whatever, ideally speaking, if we progress in the normal way, we become, or we have to climb the peak of what we are doing, and then we move to the 60, that's the age of retirement, and then 72, slowly we transition into the winter of our life. So in this way, every 12 years, even when we observe, our intellect and our speech accordingly and our experiences also changes. And this Kumbh Mela, which is a gathering, so we get to meet people from across the country and kind of reflect upon, how we are, what we are, how much I have grown or refined myself in these 12 years. At an individual level, we can consider this Kumbh Mela from this perspective. But of course, there is our tradition, there is our legends, which say that the Kumbha refers to the pot which is full of Amrita. So when the Deva Asura Sangrama was happening and the Samudra was being churned, the Dhanvantari arose with the Amrita in a pot. So, and that pot was carried to the heaven, to the gods, finally by the Mohini avatara of Bhagavan Vishnu. And then from that 4 drops of nectar or Amrita fell, one in Prayaga, one in Haridwar, one drop in Nashik, and one in Ujjain. In Ujjain there is the banks of river Shipra. In Nashik there is Godavari river, and then in Haridwar there is the Punya Ganga Mata, and in Prayag we have Ganga Yamuna and Saraswati Sangam. So in these 4 places, alternatively that Kumbh Mela happens. There is Ardha Kumbh Mela, Purna Kumbh Mela, and Maha Kumbh Mela. Currently what is happening? Maha Kumbh Mela. What is Maha Kumbh Mela? When 12 such Purna Kumbh Melas are completed, we get to see Maha Kumbh Mela. So it happens once in 144 years. We are lucky that in our lifetime we could see that Maha Kumbh Mela that is happening there. And people gather there, do the Shahi Snan and other very gatherings happen, many religious, social discourses happen, lot of conversation, lot of communication, all that happens. So it's a kind of just like Samudra Manthana, which happened earlier. When this Kumbh Mela happens, that also stirs and a lot of changes happen. So it's a socio-cultural churning that happens during this Kumbh Mela. So hence it's the largest gathering in the globe. That's how many statisticians who observe the activity, they report. But interestingly, so this is our legend of that Kumbh Mela. So and the significance of it that we saw personally and socially, the entire society gets a rejig, kind of a shaking up, stirring happens, and then we get to see, understand, and then we expand our understanding about the world, life, and so on and so forth. So while this is the truth, you just normally when you want to know about Mahakumbh Mela, you just Google and then which website you will go? Generally, who is our guru next to Google? Wikipedia, someone said. But what the Wikipedia will say? The Kumbh Mela was first held in 1870 under the supervision of the British. That's how they will say. And then how will the BBC report it? When the Naga sadhus, they are Digambara sadhus with not clad in any cloth in this biting winter, 4-5 degrees, they go and take bath in Ganga Mata in Sangama. They will describe the naked fakirs. They just parade. That's how their headline will read. Whereas the same people, when they do things in nude beach activity, they call it tuning into naturalism. So it's all about comparison. So this is the time also for churning out the colonial tendencies, and then kind of overcoming that colonial mindset. That churning, that Kumbh Mela also, when we just look out, open our eyes, and when we see all these kinds of things also will be visible for us. So hence, in that Mathana should happen, and then we will stay strong and stay connected with our tradition and the purpose for which it was created. So hence this is a very significant activity. And from a yogic perspective also, where do you find the word Kumbha in the yogic practices? Kumbhaka, fantastic. So you inhale and hold, you don't inhale and exhale. You inhale and hold the breath. So when the stomach just bulges out like a pot, so we call it as Kumbhaka. And many Hatha Yoga texts says, when we inhale and hold the breath within and the abdomen bulges like that and the breath is retained within, that's when the Shodhana happens. That's when the cleansing within happens. And then we exhale and remove the impurities at a pranic level. So this Kumbhaka or the practice of Kumbhaka refers to cleansing within. So hence, and in Kumbh Mela also, the cleansing happens by taking bath in the Ganga. So the very significance, right from the social cultural level to the yoga level, we see how Kumbh Mela is for cleansing. So cleansing the mind, cleansing the breath, cleansing the prana, cleansing our history and cleansing our understanding about the socio-cultural, our own history and other happenings. So hence this is significance. So I have not told everything about Kumbh Mela. It's a very, very long tradition. I have just given some points, some pointers which you can look into. And this occasion also inspires. We write poetry only when we are inspired. And this Kumbh Mela really inspires. So I composed 5 shlokas and I am happy to share that with you. You can see that it is set in the Bhujanga Prayata meter, the movement of the snake. That is the meter. Maha Kumbh Mela Prayage Pravritta Jananam Samudro Vishalastvaravan Nadi Matra Nadi Tira Matra Prapadyaiva Punyam Gato Dhanyatam Kim Na Chaitad Vichitram. The grand Kumbh Mela has commenced at Prayaga. A vast ocean of people, rushing and immense, has gathered. Here, approaching the sacred bank of the river, they attain blessedness. Is it not wondrous indeed? What is wondrous? Normally, which goes to which? The river goes to the ocean or the ocean goes to the river? River. But in Kumbh Mela, ocean of people are going to the river, the bank of the river. So hence, is it not wondrous? I am just wondering. Next one. Mahabdhau yathagatya sarva milanti swanama swarupam vilapyaiva nadhyah tatha kumbha melarnave sangataste jana jati mukhya prabhedair vihinah. Just as all rivers flow into the ocean, dissolving their individual identities and forms, so too in the ocean of Kumbh Mela people gather devoid of distinctions of caste and status. Next one. Manushyasya buddhya yathanaiva srishtihi samudrasya raksharthakasyaiva bhumehe tatha Kumbh Mela namartyaih prasuta sati loka kalyana nishtha vishishta. Just as the ocean which safeguards the earth is not the creation of human intellect, so too the Kumbh Mela, which is like an ocean, is not born of mortals, but stands unique, rooted in the welfare of humanity. Next one. Vilina saridraji purva visrishtihi navinopi tasmad visargo vishuddhaha tatha Kumbh Mela samudre vikaraha vilina bhavennutna srishtis swabhave. In the ocean, the old creation dissolves and from it emerges a pure new creation. That is our Puranic legend. Similarly, in the ocean of Kumbh Mela, let all distortions dissolve, giving rise to a renewed and pristine nature. Samudrasya vikshartham amantriyateno pracharo na chanya swaruposti loke tatha Kumbh Melarthamete vayam smaha swayam sangata haindava punya bhumau. The ocean needs no invitation to be witnessed, nor does it require promotion or a different kind in the world. No one invites you to go to the ocean. Similarly, for the Kumbh Mela, we have gathered on our own as Hindus on this sacred land. Final one, this is the Phalashruti. Jayaramena sashraddham pranitam padya panchakam mahakumbhasya vaishishtyam jyotajet prerayen manaha. Composed with devotion by Jayarama. This set of 5 verses illuminates the uniqueness of Mahakumbha and inspires the mind. Thank you.
Om. Esteemed friends, our Dr. H.R. Nagendra wears international shoes, wears a global cap with feathers of flying colors. There are innumerable awards, not to him, but to yoga. That point is to be remembered. We were not there during the time of Gandhiji. We did not take part in the independence struggle. This is yet another area. Getting independence is one, rebuilding India is another. For nearly 1,000 years, we were the slaves. People say, Nalanda and Takshashila, the libraries were burned. So many books were all reduced to ashes. We do not know our glory. We do not know our past. We do not know our heritage. We do not know our culture. We do not know our grandeur. While rebuilding India, we have to take to our past. Therefore, right from top to the lowest person in the country has to think, what is the glory of this country? Yoga. And that yoga was given a scientific pedestal, foundation, base, knowledge. and it was given an academic status. Did we ever think of BSc Yoga some 50 years ago? And there is now employment opportunity for the yoga. This university has taken that responsibility. It is a nation building activity. Swami Vivekananda died young. He was not even 40. He wanted men, women to work out the nation building activity. He could not get. He wept. He was almost frustrated. And in 1963, when the centenary was to be celebrated, the stalwart Indian freedom fighters movement reminiscences, they decided we must do something to revive the ancient glory. Renaissance must be ushered in. There should be a nation building activity, character building activity. And several people took so many things. Eknath Ranade, he took the responsibility on his shoulders to establish a rock memorial at Kanyakumari. And then a human memorial who can propagate yoga, who can popularize yoga, who can live the life of a yogi or yogini. Series of camps we conducted. Every year, 2 times, 3 times, 3-week camp, 2-week camp. Our Prime Minister Modi ji attended one of the camps. He sat on the floor. He did practice yoga. He closed his nostrils, made all the exercises. He remembers me very well as a teacher who taught him yoga. The actor who came yesterday attended one of the camps. He was my student. He told me, "Sir, I have an opportunity now to visit the university. It is engaged in a nation building activity." He is really fond of yoga. It is an accident that he has become an actor. His blood is for yoga. His aim is to become a yogi. He is a person of extraordinary nature. And when he came with the hope. I see young boys and girls to be the custodians of our culture, sir. To be the builders of our nation, sir. And he came here thinking that there would be a different image. Nagendra ji goes around the world. We go to various places to speak and propagate. And the image in the website created, the image we build outside must be shown here. When we speak of yoga, should we not appear to be yogis? When we speak of discipline, should we not be disciplined? It is a yoga university. It is not a popular educational institution. This is a distinctly different institution, especially meant for nation building activity with the yogic base. And that's what the actor, that's what the doctor wanted to see yesterday. It is our responsibility to build the image. Each student going out of this university has to bring 10 more students to make 10 more yogis. It is a nation building activity with the firm foundation of yoga. And for that national activity, we are all here. Please remember that. Let us introspect. Let us examine every moment. Are we rising to the expectation of Mahabharata? Are we growing towards the great ideals of this country? Are we unfolding the Rishi culture? Every movement of ours, every talk of ours, every sitting posture of ours has to reflect the ancient glory of this country. I am sorry to remind that we are not ordinary students. We are not ordinary individuals. Ordinary individuals go for bread making education. We have come here to establish our culture, to establish our glory. In no, the present activity is inferior to the freedom struggle. Freedom struggle is first step. Rebuilding India is the second step. In that national activity of rebuilding the country we are engaged. Therefore, every student, every person connected with the university must take upon himself or herself the responsibility of excellent show, excellent disciplined show. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much.
Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu.